Thanks, Adam. I have mind control over the lights. I'm now going to dim those. Pretty impressive, huh? So, we just did a club survey. Everyone here probably had, everyone had an opportunity to participate in it. And we did it right here at the club. Now, why would we survey the members in an attempt to make the club better? And the answer is because at South County Toastmasters, we never, ever, ever rest on our laurels. I'll give you a second to let that soak in. We're always trying to do better. Now, we are one of the best Toastmasters clubs in the St. Louis area, if not the best. In the mid-90s, we were rated by Toastmasters International as the second best Toastmaster club in the world, in all of Toastmasters International. We've won more ribbons and distinctions, and you can see the few that we have on our banner. We have many, many more, way too many to put up there. We've survived and thrived for 30-plus years, and yet we want to get better. Well, Tiger Woods is the best golfer in the world. He tries to get better. Albert Pujols is the best baseball player. He tries to get better. So why shouldn't we as a club also strive to constantly get better? And that was the reason for doing our survey in 2009. Now, we did a survey in 2006, 3 years ago, so let's do a quick comparison. In 2006, we had 43 members. We had 18 surveys turned in. This year we had 40 members, we had 31 turn in. That's a big improvement right there. And someone, I believe it was Karen, had the idea to do the surveys right here in the club at the meeting. Was that your idea, Karen? Whose idea was that? It was a great idea because we didn't have the folks taking these things home. We actually pinned them down right here at the meeting. We got a great turnout. So that was a good improvement right there. So let's take a quick look at what we did in 2006 and then compare that to 2009. In 2006, 61% of the members said they were here in the club for fun and enjoyment. We had 33% of the folks who said they were here for learning. Now these are going to add to more than 100%. It's because people could check more than one box. Okay? 33% of the folks said they were here to listen to or see great speeches. 22% of the folks said they were here for opportunities, and I don't know what that means, but we used to have a lot of chiropractors in the club. Howard and I were just talking about this, and I think the kind of opportunities we're talking about is they were looking for customers. This surprised me. I don't know about you. Only 11% of the folks said they were here to be a better speaker. I would have expected that to be much higher. And 11% said they were here for personal growth. In 2006, we had 3 main areas that the membership said we can improve the club. One is member accountability, which means, of course, show up on time, be prepared, do the things that are assigned to you. Our mentoring program for our newer members could stand some improvement, and we also wanted to do a better job of following up to bring our inactive members back into the club. Those were the 3 highlights of improvement in 2006. Now here's what we did this year. Karen Bush designed our survey with input from some other folks, officers and marketing committee. And then Sue and Tom compiled the results. And when you see the results I'm going to show you, it was a voluminous task. A lot of work went into this. And I think Sue did a lot more work than Tom. Am I right about that?
You bet.
Okay. Yeah. Then the officers and the marketing committee were asked to choose the top issues that we were going to present tonight, because it's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And you're going to see it. Now the question is, why would we narrow down the results? We got all these great suggestions, all this great feedback and input from the members. Why not just give it to President Ulrich and say, Rich, here are your marching orders, go get it. And the answer is, it's too much stuff. It's too much. There's an old saying, if everything is important, then nothing's important. We just can't do it all. So we had no choice but to take this voluminous amount of information and try some way to narrow it down so that it would be a usable to-do list, task list for our officers. Now, if we didn't do this, what would our to-do list look like that we would give to Rich? It would look something like this, because this is the raw data that Sue and Tom took off hand-written surveys and typed into the computer. Pages and pages and pages of great suggestions. but it's clearly too much. How would you like to have that, a to-do list like that? Judy, do you have a to-do list that looks like that? Okay. Now, how did we decide then what items that we wanted to give Rich and the officers to tackle? And it's very simple. One of the methodologies we used was we looked at the survey results. Survey says, I always wanted to say that from watching Family Feud as a kid. Survey says, always, sometimes, never. So if we had a question like number 9, these are real answers, by the way. Do numbers understand about the Distinguished Club program? 3 people said always, 14 said sometimes, and 12 said never. Clearly, that's an opportunity for improvement, something that needs our attention. The next question, number 10, is there a friendly atmosphere during the meeting? I don't know who this one was. 30 people said, you bet there is. Now, if 30 people out of 31 said we have a friendly atmosphere, do we need to do anything about that? No, we celebrate it, right? We're glad for it, but there's no action required. We already have a friendly environment. So it was pretty easy to go through the questions and determine where, I hate to use these business phrases that are much overused, but we went for the low-hanging fruit. Too much to do, we had to narrow it down. So this is the first methodology we did. Now another question we asked is, what do you like most about South County Toastmasters? And here are some of the responses. I like the people, I like the positive atmosphere, the camaraderie, the quality evaluations, supportive environment, it's friendly and fun, and it's a safe learning environment. Then we asked, what do you like least? People said, the room's always hot. I agree with that one. Restrooms are far away. It's good exercise. 6 people left it blank. I think that's a good sign. 6 people couldn't think of anything to put down that they didn't like about South County Toastmasters. And 1 person said, I hate it when I have to miss a meeting. Pretty good response. So let's jump now in. I've got 2 pages of top items chosen. And again, remember how we did this. The officers and the marketing committee looked for things that they thought was that low-hanging fruit, the things that really need our attention, primarily based on the numerical always, sometimes, never responses, okay? They talked about the overall officer effectiveness and the way we transition. We transition from officers, of course, every 6 months. So doing a better job of training, transitioning, and overall officer effectiveness. And this is not a reflection on the current administration, by the way. This no doubt goes back as far as our last survey. Okay, so this is not a reflection on the current administration. A lot of uncertainty about the Distinguished Club program, as I showed you. Very few people understand it. Clearly need to do some work there. Our mentoring for our newer members can be improved. We could do a better job with more awards and recognition. One of the things that came out of this is when, for instance, when somebody achieves a new educational level in Toastmasters, let's make a big fuss about it. Let's get them up here, let's take their picture, let's put it in the paper, congratulate them, right? We could use more educational programs. How do the roles work? How can I be a better evaluator? How can I do a good job as an officer? How does the timer job work? Right? More educational programs. More focus on retaining existing members. Some of the comments said, we do a good job out marketing, trolling for new members out in the marketplace. Let's do a better job of keeping the ones we've got. Second page. Let's help our members advance through our educational programs, through the Toastmasters programs. One of the examples that was given is that if you're going for the CL, the Competent Leader designation, you need to perform certain meeting roles and be evaluated in your effectiveness in those roles. And there's not much focus on that. So let's help people whatever way we can to advance through whatever leadership, competent leader, or communicator level that they're going for at the time. Let's have more fun nights, tall tales, themes, meeting themes. A lot of folks said some members don't do all the roles at the meetings. And for the benefit of our guests, we rotate those meeting roles that you saw here every week. Different people in those roles. You heard from Kevin and I, we have this full circle award. That's going to address part of that. And more and better use of committees. And finally, there was some